Welcome to the course on creating a character. My name is Warner McGee, and in these lessons I'll be showing you how to create this original character that I designed for this course. I've been a professional illustrator for the past 20 plus years and have had the good fortune of working with many cool and creative companies doing various kinds of character work, drawing, designing, painting, and 3D. My approach to 3D is from an artist and illustrator's point of view. I consider my 3D work as an extension of what I do in 2D. Working in 3D allows me to create imagery that traditional mediums just don't allow for. Let me tell you about what we'll be covering in the course. First, we'll start with bringing in our turn drawings into MODO. We'll model the entire character from head to toe, or in her case, from head to boots. We'll be using a variety of modeling techniques that I've had some success with modeling characters. We'll be covering retopology of a face and discussing things like polyflow and the importance of having good topology so that we don't fight the geometry as we go to pose the model. After we model the character, we'll be creating UVs for most of the geometry, then we'll export the UVs that we need for texturing. In the texturing section, we'll be discussing round tripping from MODO to Photoshop and then back to MODO. We'll set up a basic lighting scene, and then we'll discuss the relationships between lighting, texturing, and rendering, which are essential for texturing a model. We'll be using image maps that we create in Photoshop and import. We'll cover color maps, bumps, displacements, and stencil maps. We'll also have a look at MODO's deep library of procedural textures. We'll be doing some experimenting with these textures, combining procedurals and maps together. Once the model is textured, we'll need to pose her for the final shot. So we'll be using MODO's skeleton tool to build a simple posing rig. Using MODO's weighting tools, we'll be adjusting the weights from the bind process just to smooth out the joints. Then we'll be using the pose tool so we can more easily move her into place for the final shot. We'll be creating and discussing actors and poses and how to use them. Once our rough blocking pass is done, we'll move into the refinement pass where we'll really dial in her pose to better match the concept art. Part of the refinement pass will be to use morph maps. We'll create several so that we can explore and experiment with her expressions. And then once our final model is posed, we'll be discussing rendering. I'll be sharing with you the settings and a solid recipe that I use to render a subject like this. We'll set up the render outputs in preparation for any post work that we might want to do. We'll do the render, save out the file, and then wrap up the course by doing a little bit of touch-up work in Photoshop. So you can see that we have a lot to cover. The course is pretty deep, but by the end of each section, I think you'll have a firm grasp of what we've covered. And by the end of the course, I hope that by seeing how I approach creating a character will inspire you to create your own.